What's up, you awesome people? Welcome back to Cocktails and Consoles. It's Melissa, and today I am so excited to launch something new to the channel. One of the joys I've had since starting YouTube is not only finding amazing people, but also finding amazing people who have YouTube channels. And I gotta tell you, since starting YouTube, my playlist has grown exponentially. I've almost run out of hours in the day to watch all the content of all these awesome people that I've discovered, and it's been so rewarding. And I wanted to give back. I wanted to not only show these people how much I appreciate all the work that they do and the great videos that they do, but also to give you guys, the viewers, some awesome YouTubers that you guys can add to your playlist. So I had to start this one off with the awesome guys at SORGamers, Scott and Josh. I so loved interacting with them. They are two of the nicest guys I've met. They were the first people to reach out to me once I started YouTube, and they've just been very supportive ever since. And not only that, what really impresses me about their channel is that they're looking for new and innovative ways to be able to interact with viewers. And I've been really impressed with how they've leveraged all the technologies of YouTube to be able to give people different ways that they can interact with the show and make their voice heard. And I think that's just so impressive. I'm honestly learning, new things every time I watch their videos, like, hey, you can use cards and you can do voting, and they're doing Fallout 4, where you, the viewer, get to decide what happens to their character. And like we say in America, your vote matters. It matters a lot. And y'all outvoted me, because I wanted to keep that Jessica Rabbit dress, but no, you all decided she had to wear the armor. So, to that end, they are currently playing Arkham Origins, which is awesome because I've been wanting to do a Batman-themed cocktail, but I ain't playing Batman. So I asked them if I could do a cocktail based on the awesome gameplay that they're doing, and they said sure. So this cocktail is in honor of them and in honor of Batman. Now the cocktail is called Arkham the Dark Knight, which is kind of funny because the basis of the recipe is basically a White Russian. But that kind of wouldn't fit with what we know about Batman. But it's the perfect layout to be able to twist it into something that really represents Batman. And not only represents Batman, but represents the old school Batman. That kind of grayish black outfit, the little yellow insignia that we all know and love. So this cocktail is in honor of Batman and in honor of the awesome people at SORGamers. Now, the base is a White Russian, and if you've never made a White Russian before, we'll take you through the steps. But the twist is the Batman symbol. Now to make this,
first take a large mango. You're going to want it a little bit on the underripe side. Then take a nice long blade, make sure it has a nice narrow point to it. Finally, take a large cutting knife and cut along the longest, biggest side of the mango. You're going to want these a little thin. Next, take the glass that you're going to be using, and you're going to want to find something that you can use that's a little bit smaller in diameter. For me, that was a 1/4 cup measuring cup. Then, take whatever tool you've got and cut out the circular pieces. If you're using a measuring cup like I am, you may have to go around it a couple of times to be able to stamp it out. Then, take your circles. You're going to want two sides. One side you're going to be drawing your diagram, and the other side you're going to actually be presenting on. Take your sharp knife, and you're just going to lightly score your Batman symbol. Now, if you have a cookie cutter that will fit, that's already the Batman symbol, I highly recommend using that. Trying to freeform this on your own can be a little bit tricky, but after a couple attempts, it gets a bit easier. Once you have your Batman diagram scratched out on the circle, you're going to start to cut out the bigger pieces, and then using the tip of the knife, kind of perforate the symbol around. So that way, when you pull out the pieces, you don't wreck the tiny little indentations that you have. And there you go, your very own mango Batman symbol. Now, take a small piece of aluminum foil and take a small piece of wax paper. Now take whatever you used as your mold and you're going to mold the wax paper around first. This will help to keep the lines from the aluminum foil from making indentations into the ice. Next, fold over your aluminum foil. This will help to keep the wax paper in place. You're basically creating an ice mold here. Then, once you have your ice mold finished, take your Batman symbol and place it presented side down into the mold. Then you're going to want to fill it with just enough water to cover the top without too much. And then put it in the freezer until it freezes solid.
So once you have your Batman symbols, nice and still frozen, let's start assembling the drink. So first we're going to start with a rocks glass, which you're going to want to load up with enough ice that is going to make a nice stable platform. Generally, anything you make in ice should float in a drink, but for some reason, when it comes to cocktails, it's all about density. If you want something to float, or if you want something to sink, or if you like those drinks where there's layers involved, you have to have two different liquids of two different densities. And we're going to get into layered drinks. I'm going to take you guys through those. We're starting off with some of the basics to start. But, unfortunately, the density of these is a bit more than the drink itself, so it's going to want to sink a little bit. But, if you have the platform of ice, you can get around it. So, let's start assembling the drink. You can mix this in a mixer. For a White Russian, you really don't need to. So, let's start off with vodka. Wow, that is a lot. I might have poured this with a heavy hand. I'll put the amounts down below. Then, you're going to want to go with equal parts of Kahlua. This one may be a little bit heavier on the vodka. Which is actually fine for me, because when it comes to a White Russian, I don't like my drinks too sweet. I used to back in my 20s. But since then, I appreciate a little bit more bite with the sweet. So I tend to go a little bit heavier on the vodka. But again, mix it to however you like. If you're not a big vodka fan, I recommend going heavier on the Kahlua. Once you have that, you're going to want to take your half and half. Now, if we just poured this in straight, it would basically be a White Russian. But we're going to twist it. We're going to start with 3 drops of blue food coloring, followed by 3 drops of red food coloring, and mix that up. Now I can hear you guys saying, but Melissa, that's going to make it purple. Yes, it will. But the ending drink will not be purple. There we go. Now, if you guys have white countertops, I highly recommend laying down something, because blue and red are dyes that don't like to let go. So, then we take our now purple half and half just float it in the drink. It's going to blend, and that's actually fine. You don't want it to float on top, because we are going to stir this. Now, looks kind of like a mess, doesn't it? Not done yet. Take your drink and stir it. Now, if the color recognition in my camera is doing its job, you should start to see this drink turn from purple to smoky gray. And that's the color we want. For those of you guys who watched Batman the Animated Series, and if we want to go really far back, if you guys used to watch the Adam West version of Batman, the suit wasn't black. It was more dark gray. I don't know what the intent was for that, but that's how I remember it. Plus, it's a nice way to be able to make dark gray without trying to mix too many colors and you wind up with a cute green. Unless you want that, I mean, feel free. It might make an interesting A-Team style drink. Now, we have to use a little bit of a delicate hand. We're going to take one of our bat symbols, and we're just going to lay it right on top of the ice, or drop it right in there, which is fine. It takes a little maneuvering sometimes to get it to float on top. And if it doesn't quite float on top, you can always fix that with another piece of ice. And that's it. That's all there is to the drink. The only hard part really was creating the Batman symbols, and once you try it a couple of times, it becomes easier and easier. Honestly, this was about my third time trying it, and it's come quite a far away from where it was. The last ones I did, no mother would even stick on her refrigerator door, and I wouldn't blame them. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoy the cocktail. Please check out SORGamers. I'll link their contact information either somewhere in frame, somewhere down below. It's going to be all over the place. Again, highly recommend them if you love not only Let's Plays, but also Let's Plays that really care about their community and love to try the latest and greatest in YouTube technology to be able to communicate with their community. I know they got some pretty awesome stuff coming up. I'm going to let them talk more about that. Hope you guys have enjoyed that, and look forward to talking with you again soon. I'll be bringing you guys some more awesome YouTubers that hopefully you guys would love to add to your playlist as well. Cheers, awesome people!